Welcome to Week 14, where we explore disinformation and deepfakes. This video explains a safe, harm-reducing process for verifying suspicious media. We will look at how to properly investigate claims without increasing the potential harm caused by misleading information. A familiar voice can still carry an unverified request. If you receive an urgent message that sounds like a relative but instructs you to transfer money or avoid contact, do not act. Always verify the request through an independent, trusted channel first. Information can mislead in different ways. Misinformation is false or misleading, but with unknown intent. Disinformation is created to deceive, and malinformation uses genuine material to cause harm. We should treat these categories by describing the evidence, not just the intent. Misinformation does not require proven deceptive intent. For example, if an old photo is shared as if it were current, the content is factually wrong, but the creator's motivation may be simple error. Always identify the verified mismatch before judging motive. Disinformation, by contrast, requires evidence of deliberate deception. This involves a false claim coupled with specific behavior intended to mislead. Simply having wrong content is not enough to prove someone meant to deceive. Malinformation uses genuine material in harmful ways. This could be a private recording meant to harass someone, or a real quote stripped of its original context to reverse its meaning. Remember, real material can still be weaponized. When analyzing a post, describe the evidence instead of making unsupported accusations. Instead of saying someone created disinformation, state what is verified. For example, that a video is years old but is being presented as if it were current. Synthetic media is a much broader category than deepfakes. It includes any content significantly altered by technology. Do not use the label deepfake for every generated or misleading image you encounter. Precision is important. Deepfakes specifically imitate the identity or actions of a real person. This can involve their face, voice, movements, or speech. Because these are convincing impersonations, they require careful analysis of identity, consent, and potential harm. Not every generated image is a deepfake. A clearly labeled fictional illustration of a city is synthetic media, but it is not a deepfake because it does not impersonate a real person. Always consider context and disclosure. Furthermore, not every deception requires AI. Deceptive claims can be made using simple crops, old media, or even staging real events. Focus your investigation on the misleading claim itself rather than the technology used to create it. When investigating, ask two separate questions. Is the media file authentic, and is the claim surrounding it accurate? It is essential to look at both the file itself and the story being told about it. It is entirely possible for authentic media to support a false claim. A genuine video might be shared with a caption that falsely describes the date or location. Remember, the authenticity of a file does not guarantee the accuracy of its context. Similarly, synthetic media can be used transparently. Clearly labeled fictional content is not inherently deceptive. We must distinguish between the technology used and the intent behind how the content is presented to an audience. Finally, use the PAUSE acronym to help you investigate before reacting. Pause, articulate the claim, use SIFT, seek confirmation, and evaluate. Keep in mind that strong emotions are a reason to investigate further, not proof of an account's validity. When you encounter suspicious media, start by articulating an exact, checkable claim. Instead of asking if a video is fake, frame it as, this video shows person X saying sentence Y at event Z on date D. Always write the claim before choosing your investigative tools. Once you have a claim, apply the SIFT method. Stop before you like, share, or download the material. Investigate the account history, find independent coverage from responsible channels, and trace the media to its earliest version. Always pause if the media involves money, passwords, or threats. Investigate the distribution history by checking if an account is the original publisher or just a copy. Look for signs of impersonation, like altered usernames or copied logos, and check if the content links to a verified, independent official site. Remember, high follower counts do not prove authenticity. Do not mistake popularity for verification. Large audiences often repeat false claims, and viral reach only measures attention, not accuracy. Screenshots of verification badges can be faked, and familiar logos are easily imitated. Virality is never evidence of truth. To find independent coverage, search for the names involved, use exact phrases from any quotations, and add the claimed context like the place, date, or event. Seek out credible local reporting and locate official channels independently. Remember, 10 accounts repeating the same post is not 10 independent confirmations. Trace media to its earliest context using tools like reverse image search, video keyframe analysis, and quotation searches. Check for details like weather, landmarks, or language in the background. Often, an earlier version of the media will reveal the true time, place, or original intent. If your search yields no results, do not immediately assume the media is a fabrication. The content might be new, private, deleted, or heavily edited, which can prevent matches. A failed search is not a definitive conclusion. Document it as part of your process. Combine different layers of evidence to reach a sound conclusion. Look at the source, context, independent confirmation, and technical provenance. A high-confidence conclusion is based on multiple independent methods, not on a single clue or visual artifact alone. Technical artifacts like lip-sync issues, audio glitches, or unnatural timing are useful clues, but they are not absolute proof of manipulation. Use these anomalies as a reason to dig deeper, rather than as a justification to label content as fake. Be aware that even authentic media can look strange due to compression, poor lighting, or platform filters. Likewise, sophisticated manipulation may show no obvious visual defects. Never rely on your eyes alone to establish whether something has been altered. Approach detection tool scores with caution. A tool that flags content as potentially generated provides only an estimate, not a verdict. These tools can produce false positives on real media and false negatives on manipulated ones. Always interpret these scores within a broader investigation. Provenance data, such as metadata, content credentials, or camera records, can strengthen your confidence if valid. However, this is just another layer of evidence. It should be used to support your investigation, not as a replacement for contextual verification. Do not assume media is fake just because metadata is missing. Common actions like uploading a file to a platform, taking a screenshot, or saving a copy can strip away technical history. Lack of provenance does not equate to the presence of manipulation. If you receive an urgent request via video or voice that seems suspicious, pause immediately. Use a contact number you know to reach the person or service through an official, independent channel. Never use the contact details provided inside the suspicious message itself. Finally, avoid the quote, liar's dividend, where the mere existence of deepfakes is used to dismiss authentic evidence. Your goal is to guard against both accepting fake content and wrongly rejecting real evidence. Reliable investigation is the best defense against all forms of deception. When you have investigated a claim, use conclusions that match the evidence. A claim might be supported, misleading, manipulated, synthetic, unverified, or have insufficient evidence. Explain what you know, what remains unknown, and your confidence level. Avoid binary real or fake labels. Not yet verified is often more accurate. When you encounter harmful content, do not repost it, even to criticize it, as this can amplify its reach. Preserve evidence privately if necessary. Warn affected people through trusted channels, and report it via official platform or organizational tools. When correcting, link to external evidence rather than repeating the harmful material itself. Serious harms like fraud, threats, or intimate imagery require immediate, expert help. Contact your bank, employer, school, or relevant authorities through their official, trusted channels. Do not attempt to confront suspected scammers or investigate high-risk situations on your own. Knowing when to seek professional assistance is a critical part of harm reduction. For our next investigation activity, use a teacher-selected harmless example. Do not repost it publicly. Document the claim, source, emotional tone, and context. Perform 3 independent checks to evaluate the evidence, identify gaps, and form a conclusion. Focus on the process of harm reduction, rather than just guessing the outcome. To conclude, responsible verification is not a quick guess. It requires analyzing the claim, source, origin, and evidence, while remaining honest about your uncertainty. Always choose the path that results in the least harm. Take your time, investigate carefully, and remember that how you respond is just as important as the verdict.